Hi guys, welcome to today's video. I thought if I was going to film this video there was literally only one thing I could wear, and that is my Sug Life hoodie. This is one of Joe and Zoe Suggs merch clothing items. I got it recently, I love it. This video is going to be all about things that YouTube made me buy, where you basically share things that you've bought because you saw a YouTuber talk about it or you saw a video about it on YouTube. So this is the first thing. I have a whole bunch of things to talk about today, and this is literally only like the smallest part of my collection, which was inspired by YouTube. I would say at least 50% of my makeup collection is like YouTube made me buy it purchases. I've tried to pick out some things which I haven't necessarily mentioned recently, just to kind of mix it up and show you some different products. So I'm going to start on top with my Laura Mercier powder. I do mention this sometimes, but this is definitely one of those like hyped products on YouTube. So I'm going to kind of talk about if I think the products are worth it, worth the hype that they get. So this is just a loose powder. It usually has like a sifter, but mine broke, and is really, really nice. I definitely will repurchase this again once I've used it up, and it's lasted me for over a year. It's a really, really nice loose powder. I really have nothing bad to say about it. I haven't tried out too many different ones, but when I first got this, it was like one of those things that was just like, wow. My concealer, like my under eyes, just felt like they were completely different to normal. They looked so much more flawless. This was something that I think it was Fleur de Force spoke about. It's the Collection Blush and Glow palette. I got this over a year ago, but it just has 4 powders, and when I bought it, it was just over £4. This is like one of my favourites. I was so like a one bronzer kind of girl. Like I loved my one bronzer, and this was the one product that kind of like snuck its way into my routine. This particular bronzer is so nice, really long wearing, and like the perfect tone, and this blush is really nice as well. I have spoken about this palette a little, but this was definitely inspired by Fleur. I think she gave this like a rave review, and I figured it's £4. I think it was around Christmas, like 2015 I want to say, and I thought I'd just treat myself to a £4 palette. And I got it, and I absolutely love it. This side definitely gets more use than these two colours, but to be honest, like I'd pay £2 each for those, so no complaints. I really love this, and I think it's really great for travelling as well, because you get your bronzer and your blush in one palette, and it's like fairly slim, does the job. But thank you Fleur for that amazing recommendation. Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. So many people have spoken about this. I had never really had like a high-end contour kit before, and when I wanted to purchase one, it was kind of between this and the Anastasia one, and I went for this. I have gotten a fair amount of use out of it. I'm not sure if it's worth the hype. I think if you have pale skin, it's not the best, because you're kind of limited in terms of which shades you can use. Obviously you can use them as eyeshadows, but how often are you actually really going to do that? This peach shade I have used as a blush before, but obviously it's not really made to be a blush. Like the colour isn't really supposed to come off like super peach. So you have to kind of put on quite a lot of product, and it gets quite powdery. I've tried that with that colour, because otherwise in terms of like setting, that is never going to work for me. This is probably the standout shade for me, like the more cool tone contour shade. I think for the price you pay for this, I'm not sure if it's worth it. I don't know if I'd purchase it again at this price. I think I'd try something else. I think if you have like more of a darker skin tone, it might be better. Let me know if you have this and what you think of it, if you think it's worth the money. I kind of go through phases. Like I've been through phases where I've used this every single day for like a month, but I haven't used it in a while, and it's just an expensive item, so I guess that's why I'm not sure if that's worth it. Liquid lipstick. I feel like liquid lipstick in general is kind of like a YouTube, Instagram thing, but I don't know if it's like, I don't know how it works, like who starts the trends, but there's a few items which I've bought liquid lipstick wise. I've mentioned a few of these recently, but not in depth. I did a liquid lipstick decluttering video. I will link that on the screen if you haven't seen it. So NYX Lingerie. I don't think I ever would have heard of these if it wasn't for YouTube. I think NYX in general is one of those brands that has just grown a lot through social media. The lingerie are some of my favourites. I love the shades. And then also I've got some soft matte lip creams. They're so different, like they're not similar. These are more of a liquid lipstick formula, and then these are more moussey. I've got Cairo and Copenhagen here, both really, really nice. So I love NYX. I think NYX is one of those amazing brands at such a good price. I can't remember specifically who spoke about these. I think the lingerie, I know Shan XO spoke about them, and she did like a lip swatch video, but I feel like I've seen other people speak about them as well. Soft matte lip creams, loads of people talk about those. And then I've also got the Sephora cream lip stains. I bought this one quite a long time ago. I bought it when I was in France. That was the first time I ever went to Sephora, was in Paris. I've never been to America. So when I went there, I was just like, oh my goodness. First, it's like Sephora real life experience. And I bought a couple of these, and I can't really remember who spoke about these first, but quite a few people spoke about these, and I ended up buying a couple and absolutely loving them. You know, some products that just like scream YouTube. This is one of them. It's the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation. The packaging in the UK is kind of different to the one in America, but I think the product's the same. This reminds me of Laura Lee. I think she spoke about this quite a lot, but again, loads of people love this. I actually really do like it as well. This shade is not perfect for me, but I really like the formula of this. I think I need to get a slightly better shade. This one's a bit too pink and a bit too dark. I think it's great for oily skin. Particularly, I really like this. This was so huge on YouTube. It still kind of is. Oh, just poking myself in the face. I feel like loads of people were doing drugstore tutorials, like drugstore foundation routines with this for a while. I have a couple more bases to talk about. This is like an oldie, but this was definitely a Casey Holmes inspired product. This is the Garnier BB Cream Combination to Oily Skin, and this was like my go-to base, like daily. Every single day I would wear this for the longest time, for like, I feel like a good year. I went through like, I think this is my third. I used it the other day just for work and actually really liked the finish of it. This is almost empty as well, there's hardly anything in it. But this is another great one. This is like an everyday kind of thing. It's not like loads and loads of coverage, but it gives like a decent amount of coverage and just is quite mattifying. And if you have oily skin, then this is definitely something to try out. That was when I was kind of first getting into YouTube, or like the first year or so, when I was buying loads of things from different YouTubers, so really like that one. And then I bought this more recently, the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. This is another thing that has just been spoken about so much by so many different people. Shannon's spoken about this. I feel like Casey spoke about this as well. I haven't really made my mind up about this one yet. It's full coverage, but I'm not sure. Like, I think at first it looks really nice. Like when I first apply it, I really like it. But then I'm not sure if I like it like for a full day of wear. It gives a very like nice natural finish, kind of like a satin finish, I'd say. But I haven't quite made up my mind about whether or not I love this. But I just went into like Debenhams and got matched. Not sure if I got matched the perfect shade, but I did get matched by someone, and just bought it because I saw a few people on YouTube talking about it and loving it. Total throwback here, but these are Maybelline colour tattoos. I have like a huge stack of these. I haven't decluttered my eyeshadows yet, so that is definitely some of these are probably gonna go. These are the shades. I think these are both matte. This one's matte. It's the Creme de Nude. I didn't actually really get on with this particular shade. It's just like a skin colour, but more like a yellow. I just found it a bit patchy and drying on my eyelid, so I never really used that one. You can tell it's been barely touched. This is one of the leather colour tattoos. This is in the shade Creamy Beige. This is so nice. Like, I use this one loads more. There's a bit of a dent in it. A lot of mine are dried out now because I haven't used them recently, but these were huge on YouTube back in the day. And this one's really nice. It's like a matte, just kind of beige, darker beige shade, which is really nice for just every day. I don't even know who spoke about these. Maybe this might have been Tati that kind of got me onto these. I've been watching YouTube for a long time, and yeah, I think like everyone I watch, they've all inspired me to buy something. I'm sure I heard Zoe talk about those as well. Speaking of Zoe, Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer. When I think of this concealer, I think of Zoella. I love this. I've spoken about it a lot. It's like my favourite drugstore concealer. It's just so pigmented, so much coverage, and it's just so cheap. Like £4 something. Like, how much more can you ask for? And this, like, I feel like everyone loves this. There's a few people that don't, but most people just adore this concealer, and I think it's definitely one of the best ones you can get. Just two more things. I think I definitely will make more of these videos because there are so many more things I could have spoken about. But Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. This is just a mini, but this is in the shade Opal, and this is such a gorgeous highlighter. I'm wearing a different one today. I might just put on a tiny bit of this. This is such a nice colour. I want to try more of these. Just a tiny bit. Just to like proper glow. I don't even know. I feel like maybe Anna from the Anna Reddit spoke about this. Obviously Jaclyn Hill spoken about Becca powders. Jaclyn isn't like my favourite YouTuber, I don't watch her that often, but I appreciate how talented she is. I got this in like a set with one of the liquid highlighters as well, which I haven't really used. This is YouTube inspired and it's so pretty. There's like 3 different highlighters mixed on my skin right now, but this is so gorgeous. The last thing I want to talk about is from Rimmel. It's the Exaggerate Full Colour Lip Liner in East End Snob. I think this was Amelia Liana that spoke about this being like a dupe for Pillow Talk from Charlotte Tilbury. This is all I have left of it actually. I haven't used it in a long time, but there's like nothing left. You don't get tons of product in these, but it's just this really pretty like pink shade. I feel like it's quite unique and it is a really nice colour, but I did find that it kind of gathered on like the inner part of my lip if I just wore this on its own. I don't know if I'd get this again. I do really like the shade, so I probably would buy it again, and they're not very expensive at all. I don't know if I want to do Makeup Graveyard with my lip liners or not, because I have quite a few, but I don't know if I want to get rid of any. There is probably some I could get rid of. I guess I could do it. It probably would be like a shorter video. Okay, that is it for this video. It was something different that I haven't done before, but I've seen loads of people do it and I thought it would be fun, and I definitely had loads of like products and material that I could speak about. Let me know one thing that you have bought because of YouTube has inspired you to buy it. There are so many things. I'm sure if you're watching YouTube, you've definitely bought something. I think when I first got into YouTube, that was when I literally would see one of my favourite YouTubers speak about it and I would just like immediately buy it. I wouldn't do any more research. But now I'm a bit more like fickle with what I buy, especially high end. Apart from that Too Faced foundation, I kind of jumped into that one. But in general, I'm a bit more like cautious about what I buy. And if I'm ever buying a gift for someone, if I buy something I haven't tried myself, it's like usually inspired by a YouTuber and kind of on their recommendation. So if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this kind of video, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. That's it for today, so I'll see you in my next video. Bye!